Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Spotlight. Today we have a new guest, Sam Petri, I reached out to him because he's Alex's friend and we forced him on the podcast. But beyond that, he is the director of the maintenance shop and then Winterfest producer so far, which I know nothing about and I'm very interested. But go ahead and introduce yourself, Sam.
Hi, Sam Petri. I'm a marketing major and I just recently added a management major, so I'm double majoring now. I'm on student union board, Winterfest committee, game operations for Iowa State athletics. So I work all the sporting events. I'm a busy dude.
Yeah, dang. Wait, so what do you mean work all the sporting events? What do you do for that?
All the football games, volleyball games, basketball games, all that stuff. We help set up all the logistics beforehand. So all this stuff you see out the wrestling mats and stuff, or chairs and tables for all the basketball games, or gymnastics. We have to set up all the balance beams and all that stuff. So just kind of go in, set up the event, and then, yeah.
And then do you get free stuff for doing that? Do you get to watch the games?
Yeah, I get to watch all the games for free. I got those super nice Nike parkas. I got one of those. I got free sweatpants, hoodies, hats.
You got the setup merch. Wait, so do you do all this stuff because it's a part of the marketing and it's part of your majors, or is this just kind of your way to get around campus and get involved?
Yeah, get involved, build connections, and so I don't want to waste my time at college.
Mm-hmm.
So
No, it's really cool to see someone so involved in the behind the scenes things on campus.
Yeah.
So I think the first thing, the thing that maybe I know you the most from is sub.
Yeah.
So why did you choose to get involved in sub, and how did your climbing the sub corporate ladder, how did that come along? How did you get where you are? How did you get to director?
To be honest, I knew absolutely nothing about student union board. If you don't know, sub is student union board. I knew literally nothing about it my freshman year. My freshman year was COVID year, and I was looking to get involved, and I saw a comedy night, so I was like, oh, that looks fun. And then I saw that they had signups for it. I was like, oh, I'll go volunteer and meet people. And then they're like, yeah, you should apply. I was like, I literally have no clue what this is. I applied, somehow got on the Cyclone Cinema board, knew nothing about it, didn't even know what Cyclone Cinema was. And so I basically went from nothing to a director of one of the flagship programs on the student union board in a month.
Wait, and so did they just throw this on you, come meet your new director, infant baby, has never even seen?
I had to interview, and I think they just didn't have very good options because they put me on, and I literally had no clue even what the student union board was. I did no research into it, no anything. My interview was terrible, but I guess
man, it was the charm, I guess.
Yeah, it was something.
You really worked the crowd on that one.
Yeah, but Cyclone Cinema, it wasn't my favorite. It was a good learning experience. I got to host all the movies on campus.
And so what does that entail, as far as hosting? Does that mean you go up and talk before the movie goes up, and arrange?
Yeah, so it's a lot of front heavy work. The first couple weeks of the semester, it's go because we got to do all the graphics requests. We got to get all the flyers. We got to get all the posters in. We got to pick all the movies. We got to get the magnets going. So it was 2 or 3 weeks of just hell, nonstop work. But then once you're done, then the movies are set. So you don't really have anything other to do than work the events. And working the events is easy. You put out one table, you put out the papers, and then you just announce the events before the show.
Yeah, I mean, and you get to watch the movies also.
Shameless plug for Sison. You want to watch free movies or get cheap snacks. Carver 101 at Iowa State campus, 7 p.m.
It's really awesome. I kind of expected it to be in an actual, because ISU, I mean, look at the room that we're in. I figured that it'd be a theater.
Yeah.
But still, it just being in at a classroom is just, it's really cute. It's really awesome.
It is cool though, because it's a big screen. You have good sound in there. It's full surround sound. They bring in good movies.
Yeah, and when we watched Spider-Man in there, it was packed. I mean, there's there's probably at least 50, 60 people
Pretty
in
sure
there.
Spider-Man was Cyclone Cinema's biggest
biggest ever.
Yeah.
The Friday,
Top Gun almost beat it last semester. But
Friday and Saturday night of Spider-Man, we had to go into Carver 001, which is the classroom below it. and they had to show it in both theaters. So there was like 250 people a night.
I didn't even know. That's awesome. Did you
Yeah.
guys make like a ton of money on snacks?
I don't know. I don't think we really make any money on snacks because we sell them so cheap.
Yeah, you sell for dirt. It is super. It's only like $1.
It's
for
like
a giant bag
$1
of
for a
popcorn.
huge bag of popcorn, like $2 for soda and candy. So it's
Well,
like,
I don't know if you've heard, but like at an actual movie theater, like the tub of popcorn will cost you like $15, and it costs maybe 10 cents to make.
I worked at a drive-in in high school, and you could get a 50-pound bag of popcorn kernels for, I think it was like $1.20.
Yeah, which is insane.
Yeah, which makes like hundreds of boxes of popcorn.
Yeah.
So that's just like the easiest money you can make. And like the syrup for soda is like $3, and that makes like hundreds of cups of soda.
I know it's like the biggest scam.
But they like Sison, because getting the rights to the movies is so expensive. That in like movies too, like they only get like a certain percent, so they could charge $100 a ticket, and they would still make maybe $2 on a ticket. So like they can only get a percent of the sales. So that's why we just make it free, because we are student funded by student union. I mean, StuGov.
Walk me through some of that. How does that work with like purchasing? I've always wondered how movie rights work, and like.
So it's kind of finicky, but you have to get the rights for every time you show it. So since we show it Thursday through Sunday, each showing we have to like essentially rent it in a sense, because like if we want to just do a one-time showing, we'd have to rent it for that night. Or if we like want to get a special DVD, we have to get the rights for the DVD.
And so like how much lowballing does that cost? Like, do you know?
I don't know, but I know it's expensive.
Because I've always wondered, what's that line? Like, is there a line where the movie theaters pay the company to get the movie, or to where the company is now paying the movie theaters to show the movie? Like, I imagine that there are some movies that are so low budget that like I would pay to get it shown in the theater.
We get like second picks on the movies. Like we don't get them when they come out. We probably get them 2-3 months after they come out. So they're still relatively new, but like because it is like we don't have the budget to get them right away, we do it a few months after.
Oh, okay. So you guys are kind of like
that we would
like,
if we got them right away, we'd be able to show like 3 movies a semester.
Yeah. That is cool. I love Cyclone Cinema. So where'd you go after Cyclone Cinema? Because you are not still doing Cyclone Cinema.
Yeah, I then I didn't really like Cyclone Cinema because it was a huge time commitment. I wanted to do more and stuff. I wanted to do more behind the scenes, work more with like actual agencies. So I went on to Performing Arts, which does all the Grandma Mojo's improv comedy nights. They have open mics, which are crazy. I'll get into those.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about those. Yeah,
you performed at those.
Yes.
And then comedy night, which is cool because we bring in like professional comedians who are like on the rise, and it's cool because it can be kind of a like we had them when moment. Like
March
when they
2nd, Sarah Schaefer, M
shut
Shop.
up, Alex. This is not
Alex,
your
we didn't
time to
ask
talk.
My events now.
Your episode was last week.
I don't care. I didn't have that to plug then.
And then also Comedy College, which is a cool event. It's like all honors students. They get to learn how to like perform in front of an audience. So some of them are really awkward because they like tell really terrible jokes, and you're like, I don't know if I should laugh or if I should like pity laugh.
It's literally okay. Let's talk about open mic nights because I have a lot to say. So how long have we'll get over that. So how long have you been working in the performing arts department as far as
so directorships for sub aren't school year based, they're year based. So it starts in the spring and goes to fall. So it's like a calendar year. It's not a school year.
Okay. So
Cyclone Cinema, I was that from 2021 January to 2021 December. Then Performing Arts, I was all of 2022, and I was maintenance shop director in 2023.
Okay.
So Performing Arts, so that's enough. We do 3 comedians a semester. So I 6 comedians, and then Mojo's is every other Wednesday, and open mic is the adjacent to that on Tuesdays.
Okay. Yep. That makes sense. And so you did the performing arts for a year, and then now you're director of the maintenance shop. What does that look like?
Maintenance shop, I honestly love it. You get to work with all these agencies, you get to work with the bands, you get to meet all the bands, and I'm a huge music guy, so like getting to do all the behind the scenes stuff and like working with them and writing contracts, advancing them, and it's just been
So
great.
where's there to go from here then? So like, what's it look like next year?
Graduation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you were to keep going,
If I was to keep,
is there more after director?
I don't know if I would really want to do any other directorship. You have special events, which is cool because that's like all the huge celebrities for After Darks that we bring in, but they only have like 3 events a semester.
Yeah. So you don't.
And
Really
then
wanna do
I don't really want to be on leadership. I don't want to be president or vice president or anything. Multicultural awareness doesn't really interest me, but I've liked all the ones I've done so far, and I feel like each one I've done is like a step up in like responsibility.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah, that's what I was saying. You're climbing the sub-corporate ladder.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about open mic nights. Those are so funny.
You never know what you're going to see at those.
Dude, the open mic nights are, first off, I have to preface this, the most positive crowd I have ever been in.
Yeah.
Like, they laugh at anything,
Yeah.
like literally anything.
Yeah.
I have never felt more like happy to see somebody who's kind of struggling up there.
Yeah.
Like just kill because like the crowd is just really supportive of.
Well, there's like no better place to like do your first like singing performance or comedy. We've had interpretive dancers. We've had slam poets. We had the guy sing the SpongeBob theme song.
Okay, yeah.
What else have we had? I don't know. You name it, it's probably been there. We've had full bands perform. My band performed there.
Yeah.
God, there's been so much. Like it's you just have to like see it. Like
I was to say
we have this girl named Matilda.
yeah.
she wears like a dress and dresses up as Wendy Winterstein, and then goes up and like does screamo.
I had my buddy Adam there with me. This is the Adam plug. Let's see how far are we in? Oh yeah, he's probably watched until now, but
He's probably still
here. Yeah, he's probably still here. But him and I watch it, and this girl comes up, and she's just kind of like adorable, and she's saying like, "Hey, I might throw up." She sang this like kind of Broadway song beforehand that was really funny, and then like she's like, "Okay, I might throw up during this one." We're like, "What?" And then she just starts like screeching.
Yeah,
like,
and then she rips off the dress like halfway through
I was like, where are we?
Yeah.
And then the whole crowd went nuts for it also.
It was crazy. You know what's funny? She actually used to be like a professional harp player at Iowa State. Like she was in the Iowa State Symphony, but they cut that program. So she's like, I needed an outlet. So now she.
So this is. I was
she
telling.
used to explain that at the shows, and now she doesn't. And that's why, like, she kind of needs to keep doing.
I would say I really wish she did because that makes it so. It's like her villain origin story. Of
I know.
Like,
how did you go from like a professional harp player to like doing
just screaming on stage?
Music? Yeah.
I loved that. I mean, it hurt my ears. But I loved it.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I was working tech that night, and I had like the mic almost basically at 0. And it was still so loud.
Was your reaction to it like, whoa?
Well, I just saw all the lights on the board immediately go to red. Like everything was just redlined. I was like, oh shit. I just like yanked down the slider. I was like, God, I hope they don't blow any speakers.
I hope they don't blow any eardrums, man.
Yeah.
I do. At first, I was like confused, but I'd been to enough open mic nights where I kind of understand the kind of people that go to perform at an open mic night. And then Alex explained to me, I was like, okay, that was art. I mean, that was pure genius.
And we also have Jim, the beatboxer, there.
Oh my gosh, is he that like Asian dude? Yeah, because he performed right before I did my first stand-up.
I know. I remember I went up after you. I was like, well, good luck trying to top that.
No, okay, so that guy came up and he tore the house down.
He's like, more bass. You just hear.
He's like, more.
And the whole room is just like shaking.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
He was so good.
You just see like dust falling off the lights.
Yeah, I couldn't even see because my ears are ringing. And I was so nervous for the open mic night. So has Alex explained to you? First off, you tell me your perspective of. Do you remember my performance?
Yeah, you had the sheet of paper and you were just reading off. You just kept reading off one-liners. I was like, dear God, this guy is terrible.
Yeah, so run me through like how that went on your end.
I just remember seeing Jim. I was like. And I kind of knew you. Like I was giving you shit before the show.
Yeah.
And then I went up. I was like, yeah, good luck trying to top this. I was like, next up he's going to be doing comedy. I was like, yeah, good luck trying to top that. And he just came up with like a packet of papers. I was like, oh God, this guy didn't even memorize his own jokes.
Yeah. So has Alex explained to you what that was?
Yeah, you didn't know any of them beforehand. You just had to read them.
Yeah. So what I did is it was a video that I made on a channel and I what I wanted to do to kind of break the ice, because I wanted to do like kind of comedy, like normal stand up and be on stage.
Yeah.
And so to break the ice, I was like, okay, I'm going to ask 3 of my friends to write me the worst stand up set. And I was like, make me bomb on stage. Like, I want this to be like almost like a prank video. Like, I want this to be so terrible. And so they wrote me some zingers. I had to scrap a lot of it because I could not do it.
I remember hearing some. I was like, oh my God, I hope no one's going to post this shit. Because I'm like, this guy's never going to get a job in the future.
Well, so I did those. And this is where it comes back to like the most positive group of people. They were dying. Like, they were laughing so hard during that performance. I couldn't even like... It was hard for me to get in character because they were enjoying it so much.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like they thought it was super funny. It was like this mixture of like pity laugh transforming into, I think I understand what this guy is doing.
Yeah.
And then laughing at like the randomness of it. Oh, it was so funny, man.
You need to come back and like do an actual comedy set.
Yeah. So.
Oh, what if you brought someone and did a podcast? Like 10 minutes on stage.
10-minute podcast?
A 10-minute podcast.
That would be kind of awesome.
Alex, can you make that happen?
Here in the performing arts department, we don't make any promises of getting to do anything at open mic night.
There's 2 mics on stage.
I'll try.
And the board has the capability to record.
Yeah, I'll try to get you to stop me is what I'll try to do.
Okay, if you can have a girl go up and scream in a dress, I don't see why you can't have a 10-minute podcast.
That's a fun challenge, but I actually did a normal stand-up set at the beginning of this semester. Were you there for that one?
Yeah, I was working it.
Yes, okay, yeah.
I gotta be honest, I don't really remember much from that.
No, that's all good. But what was funny is I wanted some people who saw the first one to see me do the second one and be like, oh, here comes this fucker again. No, dude, come on. And I don't know, man. It was a ton of fun, but that crowd is so awesome.
It's great.
Like they're fantastic.
Those were my favorite events to work as a performing arts director because, like, you just had no clue what you were going to see that night. Like, Hannah, my co-director at the time, we were just like, oh, God, I wonder who's going to be here tonight. And then we always had, you remember Matt Sings, the guy with the cowboy hat?
Yeah.
And I was going to be like, I was skydiving. I was.
He was so wholesome, man.
And, like, he's not that great of a singer, but, like, the whole crowd loved the music. Like, the whole crowd would be chanting with them. They'd be, like, waving their arms.
With the lights. And
they like, put their phones up and, like, with the lights. It was just awesome. We always ended the show with him just because it was, like, the whole crowd loved it.
And they all knew his name, too.
Yeah, everyone knew Matt Sings. I'm sad. We ran into him the other day. He won't be at any this semester because he's got to work.
Oh,
I know.
I wanted to get him on the podcast.
That would be awesome.
Famous Matt Sings. Because apparently he's, like, really political, too.
Yeah,
like,
he's a mega conservative.
Yeah. So I wanted to get him on and just, like, kind of run that through and just figure all that out. But I love that crowd. What other stuff any other just fun stuff that you've experienced at the open mic nights?
I told the Purple Wombat story at open mic. I've done a few comedy sets.
The Purple Wombat story?
Yeah.
Which one is that?
Do it, Sam. Do it.
Oh, God.
Do it.
Yeah.
How much
I'm
time
gonna
do we
mute
have?
Elijah's microphone and you do the whole damn
Go ahead.
thing.
You're muting his mic?
I will if you do it.
Don't mute my mic. I'm fine.
I will do a shorter version of it because it could be as long or as short as I want it to be.
Is this like one of those Boy Scout jokes that last like 8 minutes long?
I'll give the short long of it. Okay, so there's this kid named Timmy, and he's going to, he's a normal kid. He's in high school, he's sophomore in high school, just got his license, normal kid. Hangs out with his friends, studies moderately hard. He's one of those like naturally gifted kids, gets a 3.5 GPA without trying. But one night he was sleeping, and he wakes up to this noise and hears, I am the Purple Wombat. And he's like, what the hell was that? It's like, the Purple Wombat? And he just kept hearing it throughout the night. I am the Purple Wombat. And he's like, okay, whatever. I'm just going to sleep it off. And then he woke up in the morning, and the parents were like, hey, Timmy, how'd you sleep? He's like, oh, not too bad. I woke up in the middle of the night and heard someone say, I'm the Purple Wombat. So he's like, hey, Dad, do you know what the Purple Wombat is? His dad stands up, has this mean look on his face, beats the shit out of him. Just absolutely obliterates him.
It'd be funny if that was the end of the joke. It's done.
And he's like, Dad, what the hell? He's like, all he did was ask about with the purple wombat. He's like, you don't bring that up in this house. And his mom's like bawling. And then he's like, what the hell, Dad? And his dad's like, just get to school. He's like, I don't want to talk to you the rest of the day. He's like, geez, okay. So then he gets to the bus stop, same kind of thing. His bus driver's like, man, Timmy, you look like shit. What happened? And he's like, my dad just beat me up because I didn't know what the purple wombat was. Bus driver stands up, kicks him in the chest out of the bus. And he's like, you got to walk to school today, Timmy. He's like, I don't want to hear that on my bus. So he walks to school. He's like, thinking on the way there, he's like, man, what the hell is going on? He's like, why is everyone kicking my ass over the purple wombat? So, he's got to walk to school. He gets there, and the teacher's like, Timmy, why are you 2 hours late and look like you got hit by a car? And he's like, I got kicked off the bus, literally, and I had to walk to school. She's like, oh, my God, why? She's like, I didn't know what the purple wombat was. And the teacher just starts breaking down, crying. She's like, you don't bring that up here, Timmy. He's like, get out of the classroom. So he goes to the principal's office. The principal's like, Timmy, I'm sorry, but we got to expel you. You can't talk about the purple wombat at school. And he's like, man, what is going on? So Timmy, he got kicked out the bus, and now he's got to walk back home. He's like, man, I've had a shit-ass day. So he gets home, and the parents are like, oh, why are you home so early? He's like, I got kicked out of school. And the dad, beats his ass again for getting kicked out of school. So he's like, whatever, I'm just going to go to bed. So he goes to bed, and at like 3 a.m. he says, I am the purple wombat. Come find me. He's like, you know what? Today can't get any worse. So he grabs his bike and he starts going towards the noise. And it leads him. He keeps listening to it. It gets louder and louder and louder. And he gets to this entrance to a forest. And he's like, okay, I'm going to go into the woods. He goes in. He bikes. Keeps hearing, I am the purple wombat. I am the purple wombat. Leads him to a lake. And he starts paddling out in this boat. And he sees this purple beam come from the heavens down to the middle of the lake. And he goes, Timmy, I am the purple wombat. Come with me. And he sees this hand stick out of the purple beam. And Timmy stands in the boat. He's reaching for it, falls in the lake and drowns.
Oh my God.
Moral of the story, don't stand in boats.
Bro. Dude, no way. No way.
So yeah, I told that story, but made it 10 minutes long at open mic. And you said it was a positive crowd. I got a lot of booze.
I want to bring tomatoes and start hucking them at people. I had heard something similar like that. It's a story you go on for 10 minutes, and just what you do is you run up the chain of command because this kid picks up a note, and he doesn't read it. He just hands it to the teacher, and the teacher reads it, sends it to the principal. Principal read, and you gotta specify how upset everyone is about reading the note, and then it goes all the way up to the chain of command until he's speaking to he's going to a judge, and then he's going to the president, and then he's going to the executioner, and then the executioner kills him, and he goes to heaven, and then God reads the note, sends him down to hell immediately, and he's like, Satan, can you tell me what this note says? And Satan grabs it, and it just turns and lights on fire, and then that's the whole joke. You go 10 minutes and do that one.
The one that I used to know was, I don't remember the total setup.
Was it the conductor?
No.
I
The one that
remember
I
that
did
one.
would it would build up kind of the same way, and once he got expelled from school, he'd be upset and leaving school, and then he'd get hit by a bus. Moral of the story, look both ways before you cross the street.
Bro, these are all Boy Scout stories.
I actually heard it in high school, my freshman year on drumline. We always had story time before shows, and we always made them up. And I remember our drumline captain at the time told us this, and then I became the drumline storyteller my sophomore year. So I told this story 3 years, and then other times we would do roast nights and stuff. But yeah, that was a staple of the drumline. I just figured I'd bring it on to Iowa State as well.
That's nice. I got a short one. All right, so these two guys, are walking down the street, and one guy says to the other, and he kind of stops, and his eyes go wide, and he's like, "A car is about to crash into that sign right there." And then the other guy's like, you don't know that. And he's like, give me a minute, it'll happen. And then lo and behold, in a minute, it happened. And the guy's like, how did you know that? He's like, well, gay people know everything. It's just how it is. And so they keep walking down the street. And then they're like, I think there's a party up 2 blocks up ahead. And he's like, you can't possibly know that. He's like, watch this. We're going to keep walking. There's going to be a party up there. And so they go up and they see this big house party going on. The music's blaring. And he's like, how did you know that? And he's like, well, gay people know everything. It's just how it is. And so they walk into the party, and they've been sitting down on this couch in the middle of the room, and then he's like, we need to get up and go, right now. And he's like, why? He's like, because this place is about to get shot up, like right now. And it's like, no, I don't know that. And he's like, no, I do in a minute. This place is about to get shot up. And he's like, I don't believe it. I'm going to stay here. And so the guy's leaving, and then the place gets shot up, and the other guy gets shot in the leg. And so the gay friend picks him up, and he's carrying him down, and he's like, my mom actually lives up here. And he's like, how did you know this place is going to get shot? He's like, I told you, gay people know everything. It's just how it is. And so they're walking up to the steps, and then he rings the
Doorbell.
See, gay people know everything.
All right, so this has been a good podcast, everyone. I'm gonna head out.
Dude, I had a kid. I work at the Woodward Academy, which is like
I hate you
a
so
juvenile institute, a juvenile institute for 12 to 18-year-olds. This kid hooked me on this story for 5 minutes, and then I said doorbell, and he got me so hard. Like, he dunked on me so hard, and from then I had no respect from any of the kids there ever. Like, they got me so hard. It was so good.
God, I can't believe I fell for that shit.
Oh, yeah, those are funny. Anyway.
Yeah, we got way off track.
No,
but,
dude, that's the whole point of this. It's just to, like, talk it out.
Yeah, open mics, man. I'm going to miss those. Yeah,
Do you think you're still going to... where are you going after this? What's your plan after you graduate?
So I'm gonna have another year. I'm gonna do the MBA program and just stick around for one more year and get like my MBA. So, but unfortunately, grad students can't be in student union board. But I'll still help out. I'll still volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can still be a tech in the maintenance shop. I'm not sure though. I'm sure Jim would let me, the director. But
So are you going to stay around the Ames area?
yeah, I mean, well, for grad school, yeah, but. Because it makes sense. I'm already accepted here.
Yeah, you might as well just keep, keep chugging along.
I don't want to have to like start my career and then be like, oh, I want to get my master's and then have to go back into school mode. So I'm like, I might as well just do another year, get it out of the way, get the master's, and then I can like start everything.
Yeah. Do you have any plans after your master's? Like, what are you going to do with?
I don't know, man. Like, I really dream job would be working for Red Bull, traveling around doing all those crazy events.
Working for Red Bull?
Yeah.
Like, what do they do?
Have you never seen like the crazy skiing events or motocross? They have like a couple Formula One teams.
Like Red Bull does?
Yeah,
Like the drink company?
The drink company. They are a bigger media and events company than they are a drink company.
I had no idea.
Yeah. They just on Instagram, I think they have like 72 accounts.
What?
Yeah, and they spend 2/3 of their like total budget on marketing alone.
That's insane. I did not know
They
that.
sponsor more athletes than any company, more than Nike and Adidas and all those huge like clothing wear companies. They sponsor more athletes than any of them. They have more events than like all of them combined. Like, cause they have their own monster trucks. They have their own Formula One cars. They have their own dirt bike team. They have like a ski and snowboard, and they have all those like crazy soapbox races. And they have, I don't remember what it's called, but like they try and build those flying machines off of ledges. And
how have I never heard of this?
I don't know. Just you go to their Instagram and you can like see all of it.
That's so cool. Wait, so what would you want to do with Red Bull?
For me, I think it's so cool when you can attach like a product to a brand experience.
Uh-huh.
So like the fact that like Red Bull has like all that stuff, you'd be like, oh, Red Bull. Yeah, they have Red Bull Racing, Red Bull Motocross, Red Bull Skiing, Red Bull all this. And it's like, oh, they have an energy drink too. That's the biggest, like one of the biggest drink companies in the world, on top of being a massive media company.
Yeah, so it's really just like any place for anything. Like,
Yeah.
you just go there and
If you can
do something crazy.
if you can do something crazy and stupid, then yeah, you can like work for Red Bull.
That's cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, dude, I hope you get in. Is that like a competitive
Oh, I bet.
job market?
Yeah,
Like
I
a lot of
bet.
people are
I
trying to
bet.
get into Red Bull.
Yeah, but I'm sure their marketing team is enormous.
Oh, I mean, like you said, someone has to run 72 different Instagram accounts. So,
Yeah.
of course, it's probably humongous.
But yeah, they're a huge company. I think that would be cool. Just traveling around, setting up all those crazy events. I think that'd be.
Yeah, that would be cool. So, how do you feel about being like roadies or like being like a roadie for a band or like
Wouldn't want to do that.
perform? Why not?
Because after being in a band, I would not want to just like haul around their shit.
Yeah, tell me about your band.
Yeah, Riding Atlas, man. Started out 8th grade year. Original name was YB Blue. Lowercase y, capital B, lowercase BLU.
Do you guys have music under that name still?
No.
Okay.
Only on YouTube.
Would
but it's
love to hear that.
horrible. It's horrible.
Wait. Okay. So did you drum for them?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. We just changed the name because YB Blue is a terrible name. We were technically a blues band when we started, but we were really a rock band.
I was saying it's definitely from what I've heard, it's definitely shifted over from blues to what it is now.
Yeah, we mostly did it because there's this thing called International Blues Challenge, or IBC, that takes place in Memphis every year. And it's this like massive competition of all these blues bands, and it's an easy way to get recognized. So we did that as a kind of a faux blues band.
Wait, did you guys go to that?
Yeah, we competed in the youth challenge.
How'd you guys do?
We never we did okay, but like I said, we were more rock. So the judges are like old heads.
Yeah,
Only want
yeah.
blues,
They're
so
like, where's the banjo?
if they go up there and heard anything more than like the 1-4-5 chord progressions,
Yeah.
they're like, "The fuck is this?"
Wait a minute. Who brought the drum kit?
Yeah. So, I mean, it was more exposure, than really taking the competition serious, which is good, because then that led us to our first recording deal where we got to record in Nashville in Sound Emporium.
Where are you from?
I'm from Davenport, Iowa.
Dang, so you took this seriously in 8th grade, like.
We were basically a professional band in high school.
Did you get your parents to drive you up there?
Yeah, they would.
And
They loved it though. Like they'll say it was annoying, but they loved it.
That's so cool.
Like how many parents can say their son recorded in the same studio that Taylor Swift is recorded, same studio that Fleetwood Mac is recorded, and same studio Jimi Hendrix, or who else? Ted Nugent's recorded there.
That's insane.
Yeah,
That's the next best thing you could come up with. Ted Nugent.
Ted Nugent is awesome. He played a damn Yankees.
But okay, never mind. You're
It's a
right.
step from Taylor Swift, but we'll cut him some slack.
Taylor Swift is popular. I said Fleetwood Mac too.
Yeah, Fleetwood Mac's huge. Anyway,
Yeah, shut up, Alex.
Yeah, just shut up, Alex. Nobody gave you permission to use that mic.
I'm not muting it now. I'm just here.
Wait, okay, so you went up and recorded in Tennessee, and your parents just chilled with you guys
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Wait, but your Spotify catalog is only 4 songs long.
Those are only on CD.
the ones you recorded?
Yeah.
Can I have that CD?
I can
I
get you
buy
a
that
CD.
CD from you?
I'll just give it to you. We have 200 of them.
That's so cool.
I'm also gonna need one of those.
Okay,
I'll
I'll
say,
get you one too.
How do you feel?
Really, at the time, I think we thought it was really good, but looking back on it, it's like, wow, we suck.
I can't believe. Wait, so how did you get recording in there? How did that deal come?
So the first year we were there, we performed really well because we were all young. I was a freshman in high school when we went down. Nick, the singer and guitarist, he was a sophomore, and Joe was also a freshman. So we were young. We were one of the youngest bands there. And this guy named Bobby Masano saw us, and he had connections at the Sound Emporium studio. So he was like, "Hey, you guys are awesome. How would you like to record?" And we were like, "Okay, this seems sketchy." So we learned more about him, read into him, legit guy. So then we go down to Sound Emporium, so IBC was February. We recorded in September, end of September, beginning of October. It was the last week of September into October. And we went down. I got to miss a whole week of school. It was awesome. And we just hung out on Broadway Street for a couple of days, and then we recorded, and it was amazing. This studio is beautiful.
Did you guys have to pay for this?
Kind of, but it was super discounted.
Okay.
So it was like a 80% discount.
That's an insane experience to have as
It's how could we pass that up?
Yeah, I said even if your music was dog, you would still be absolutely
for
I'm going up
being
there.
15, and 16, I think we were better than a lot of bands at that age.
Yeah.
Not to sound cocky, but
I mean, somebody came up to you and gave you a brand deal, a mini brand deal to come and record at the studio. So
but
I can't imagine it was that bad.
I learned more in that week of recording than I did in my previous 6-7 years of drumming. It was such
you learned more about drumming?
Yeah,
while recording it?
the recording process and just drumming. Because I didn't really know how soundboards and stuff work, so I was playing dynamics, and they're like, no, just play as hard as you can because we can just lower it in editing. I was like, oh, that makes sense.
That's the drummer's wet dream.
I'm like, oh, that
play
makes
as loud as I
sense.
can. Oh my, best believe.
Well, they want it to sound as full as possible is the whole thing. Because if you're hitting it like not very hard, then if they turn the volume up of that, it's gonna like sound really thin and not good. So like if you hit it hard, then like it sounds more full. You sound like you're actually like caring about the music. And I don't know, it just sounds better. Like live, I don't know if you've ever seen bands perform live when they have to like play quieter, it doesn't like sound as good and the energy's like not there. But like when you could play hard, it's like, wow, this is like a lot more fun.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel like we had to hold back at all.
That's so cool. And so what about the other guys? Were they just all in band too? Because your lead singer is like really good.
Nick, at what, singing or guitar?
Singing, yeah. And guitar. He's pretty good at guitar
so
too.
I met Nick at we had this thing called Rock Camp in Davenport, and we would it was like random people, like random kids from middle school or high school would get put together and they'd form a band. And you had 2 weeks to learn songs. You could like learn covers or like write your own songs. And he was in another band, and me and him just kind of talked like, because like all the bands would go out and get food together. So like we were in, I think it was the summer before my 8th grade that I met him. And like we would go out, talk, and then we just became friends through that. And I never really told my parents about it because they're like, oh, this guy's from Galena. I'm not going to ever see him again.
I mean, even though Galena's not that far from...
It was like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's not horrible.
But, and then one day he texted me, he's like, hey, I remember saying you ski. He's like, how would you like to come up to Galena and ski at Chestnut? I was like, yeah, that'd be awesome. But I'm like, my parents have no clue who you are. So I told my mom about it. I'm like, how would you like to let me ski with people you've never met, but I know them? And she's like, let me talk to their parents. So she found out, like, she talked to the parents, found out they're good people. Mom's like a nutritionist, dad's a doctor. Great. Love Mark and Mary. They're awesome.
Shout out Mark and Mary.
But because of that ski trip, they're like, hey, we should form a band. So we did. YB Blue came, and then Memphis, and then recording, and then we went to Memphis again for IBC. And then we had like 2 years where we were just playing shows. We played like hundreds of shows. Like
How'd you guys do the second round?
That one was like not as good because we were just like straight rock at that point. Like we weren't even trying to hide it.
Like a hide behind blues.
We were not even like trying to hide it anymore. We were a rock band. Like, it was like pretty obvious at that point.
You guys walk in and you're like wearing leather and like rocked on bracelets.
Well, we were trying to promote the album we just recorded. So it's like we wanted to play the music that we had recorded. So it's like, oh, well, it doesn't make sense to play music that's not on the CD. So like we don't care if we don't place well. We just want like people to listen to us. So that was what we did, and we just handed out CDs and like made connections. And yeah, so that was good. Second year wasn't, I guess, as good. It was freaking cold. It was like 20 degrees. So like,
Dang.
yeah,
wearing gloves to drum.
yeah. But the first year we did, it was like 70. It was beautiful.
Dang.
Like so we were just going all up and down Beale Street, playing in all the clubs. It was so fun.
You were playing at clubs when you were like
Yeah.
16, 17?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How did they let you in?
Well, it was like jams. Like IBC, they shut down the whole street. Like they don't let cars on it. So like all these bands just go in and jam out. They hand out food, and if you're of age, you can drink.
And so this was in Tennessee.
Yeah, Memphis.
So you guys just stayed in Memphis.
Yeah, it's like there's Beale Street, and then 2 blocks over is the Memphis Grizzlies Stadium.
And wait. So you guys went there, performed at the competition, and then just stayed there for like.
It's
2
like
weeks?
a whole week-long thing.
Oh, the competition is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna
sorry,
say.
I should have
I was like,
prefaced that.
your parents are like real G's. like
They are.
They took like
Shout
a month
out-
off of work to like
Shout
hang
out
out
to
with you guys.
Dan and Martha, man.
Yeah, Dan and Martha, you guys are dang. That is like such a supportive family.
Yeah, it was
like you see
great.
in the movies. It's like
Yeah.
rock bands are Satan's music. We're not gonna lay in like the exact opposite of.
They may have complained about it in the moment, but they loved it. Like, how could you not? Like, if I was a parent and my kid was performing in like on Beale Street and recording in studios, I'd be like, hell yes, and I would be at everything.
That is so unbelievable because I've heard your music and it's like really good, especially for someone like at Iowa State, an hour like
Yeah.
age. You know what I mean? But like knowing that came from like this huge journey in Tennessee. It's like I'm talking to a really famous band. You know what I mean?
Oh, another fun fact: senior year, we got inducted into the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
What?
Yeah.
How?
We went to this competition, and I don't like I hate like bragging, but we fucking wiped the floor with every band. It was like our score was like here, and then theirs were like down here. It was like all 5 judges like had no one even close to our score, and we won like best guitarist, best bassist, best singer, best drummer, and best band. Like, so none of the other bands had like
I got a single award.
any other awards. And like parents were pissed because like we just fucking wiped the floor.
It's almost pay to win, man. You guys started off in Tennessee. Like, that's insane.
I know, and I felt really bad because there were other good bands there, but like. We did original music and they did like covers. So like they were good covers, but it was like originals will get you further. So then like, yeah, we went down and did our band, like our competition showcase. And then I could probably find a photo, but we got of us holding the plaque, getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I have like a trophy of it. And if you go to the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it's in Okoboji. You could see us on the wall, and then we also performed on their massive stage, and yeah, it was awesome.
That's so cool. That's honestly so awesome.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so what happened to your guys' catalog then? Like, what's stopping you guys from like recording? So the current catalog on Spotify, that's when you guys were older.
Yeah, that was, so from the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, we got 2 free days to record in a studio, and that was when we did the state EP. It was either 2 days or 2 songs, and we knocked out 2 songs in 1 day.
So, and that's the ones with the black album cover, not the ones
that's
under
the one,
live.
Yeah, the live one that was at Nick and Joe's house.
Okay,
and we had a show there, and like we did it with
that quality is really good too.
You know what's crazy about that? That was 4 mics.
Yeah.
Well, 5 if you count the singing one. We were recording the vocal mic, and then we had 1 mic on bass amp and guitar amp, and then we had 2 overhead mics. That's it.
It sounds really good. Like,
Yeah,
it sounds about as good as the other ones.
Joe, I didn't really know much about like editing music and stuff at that point. So Joe, the bass player, man, he did some magic on how that sounded. So
yeah, that's okay. So then, what's stopping you guys from, making more music, like
time,
putting more content on Spotify?
Now that we don't have a guy to edit it, like mastering music takes so long. So I think we're gonna try and work on an EP because their parents live in Ames now. Their dad's a physician at Thielen now.
Okay.
So we have a studio that like they have all the mics and board and stuff over there. So I think we're gonna try and work on an EP and hopefully get one out this year. But it's mostly just time. It just takes so long to like edit music and like write new music. And
you guys need like a 5th person who really enjoys doing that kind of stuff, because I imagine they're here like at Iowa State.
Oh, I'm sure we could find someone.
Yeah, that's like, I want to do it.
Yeah. But then it's like, we know what we want to sound like, and if that person doesn't fit that criteria, then we're gonna have to fix it to make it how we want it to sound.
Yeah, and then at that point, you might as well have just done the work.
We're pretty nitpicky. That's why we never added a 4th person into the band, because like we've tried, and it's just like they either didn't live up to the expectations we needed them to, like skill wise, or they just did not mesh with the style that we were going for.
What would the 4th person be?
Probably a rhythm guitarist.
Oh, okay. Instead of like the soloist guitar.
Yeah, Nick.
Who again does a really good job.
Nick fucking shreds.
He does a really. There's one song on your guys' live one. I was listening to it on the way here. I can't remember the name. It's the 2-parter. Like the first one's
Hype and Don't.
Yeah,
and,
that one is literally
Back to
just
the
like
Mountain.
Guitar solo and drum for like
at the beginning.
Yeah, like a minute and a half.
That's Joe on bass. That's Joe on bass.
Oh yeah, and then the drums. It's literally just like have fun on the drums for a minute and a half.
We always start the song with that, and we played a show at, shout out to the A-Hole in Ames. It's a venue at my friend of mine Hassan's house. We played a show there, and when we started with that song, it was like a wave of like people going towards the stage, just moshing. And we were like, holy shit, we're about to die.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're about to have blood on this stage. Man.
That song is like perfect for moshing. So it was just like a wave of people came up.
That was one of the most terrifying experiences of my life.
Alex was there for that. And I think that was a song that, like, I was just like, oh my God, because we had all of our girlfriends there too. And I'm like, they're going to, like,
they need help.
They need to get the fuck out of here. Alex, you could probably speak on that a little bit more because I was drumming, but.
Yeah, there was a bunch of angry dudes, and they totally figured out that we were asked to protect the girlfriends. And so they were, like, trying to fight us. It was ridiculous.
Well, yeah, when you have like the sickest minute and a half of a song playing, they're gonna want to fight everybody. I don't
Honestly,
think
I hadn't ever like gotten to listen to their music that much, and I was so stressed out about what was going on behind me. I did not listen to anything. They did.
I don't know how you couldn't. It was so.
It was so loud,
It
but
was
I was
so
absolutely
ungodly
like
loud.
freaking out.
On a sign set on the board, like everything was redlined. Like there was not one thing that was not maxed out. Because like we were just playing so like there's only 3 of us, but we are loud.
I won't say that that style of music is the style of music that I normally listen to, but I'm a big music guy and I'm able to understand like this is impressive.
Thank
like,
you.
It's good
Thank
to
you.
hear it. Yeah, and I love that. I didn't know that you guys had done so many shows. So what does your catalog look like when you do the shows? Are there some old songs from your old band, or the
Yeah.
the phoenixed version of the band?
So before we had that like hype part before Back to the Mountain. Back to the Mountain was the first song we wrote together as a band, and we still play it in all of our shows.
Okay, yeah. So
So-
is it kind of? Do you guys play some of your old catalog when you go to shows?
Yeah,
And-
but those aren't really released, a lot of them, because we just don't.
yeah. Go ahead and get on that so I can listen to so I can listen to more music.
We have one that I think we're gonna release as a single called One Day. That one's really good. And then we're gonna bring back some oldies and then probably write some new ones for an EP. We probably want to do like 6 songs, maybe 5, 6 songs.
So what are some of your favorite bands then? Like where did you guys base the style off of? Like
Kind of a combination of like Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix, and the Black Keys, like just all meshed together.
God, that's so hot.
Thanks, Alex. But we just like I don't know, all of that. I love John Bonham. He's probably like one of my favorite drummers in Led Zeppelin. Like just his style of how he drummed was like so perfect and unlike anything else at that time. That like I don't try and emulate that, but I like take a lot of inspiration in like his drumming style.
and so is that something that the whole band agreed with? Like who kind of influenced what style of band this was?
We just all like
you guys were all just like
Yeah,
this is it.
yeah.
Did you guys even make an attempt to get into blues? Like, or is that just like an excuse to get to the
We
competition?
played blues. I don't know if we made an attempt to like get into it.
to like it?
Yeah, I mean we could play blues. Doesn't mean we want to.
yeah. No, I definitely understand.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. I did not know any of that about the band, so it's awesome to hear. Like, you're the kind of people that I want to have on this show that are like, hey guys, these people are doing incredible things. Like, listen to this guy talk about it. Like, it's so cool.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, looking back on it, like when I was in it, I was like, oh, this is just, I'm in a band.
Yeah.
I didn't really think it was like, this is not like what anyone else is doing.
Yeah, yeah, because there are so many people who are like, bro, let's start a band, let's make music, and then they like burn out or like
Yeah.
they don't get the opportunity to do it or they don't have the motivation to continue or whatever slew of excuses.
Yeah.
But like at the very least, even now you guys are still playing, but at the very least, like you had a moment where like you guys were very close to just like, this is what making music is.
COVID killed us, I think, because we had a ton of shows lined up, like in some pretty big places, and then COVID hit and everything shut down. And then we went to college, and then we got busy with college and life. And
Where are all the boys at? The other
they all go here.
Okay, yeah, so you guys still
Yeah, we still practice every now and then, and we still do shows when we can, but there's just not really many venues in Ames.
Yeah, that's true. Dang, that's so cool. That's so cool. How do you guys feel about the other bands going around? Do you guys?
Oh,
I mean,
like
especially
it.
since you work sub, like
They're all
you
nice
probably
guys. Like
really
they're
know.
all super nice.
Yeah, that's super cool. I listened to Slippery When Wasted. Those guys
Yeah,
are pretty
they're
fun.
fun.
They're very fun. That's the only other one I know.
State parks, vehicle dynamics. God, they're slipping my brain right now, but I know like a few around here. They often play at the A-hole, and then I think we might be doing a student showcase again at the Ames Auditorium this year. So
that's super cool. Wait, so
So-
people just go up there and
well,
they have to be like bands.
yeah, they have to be band.
It's not like open mic
Yeah,
night.
no.
Get Matilda
last
up there.
year there was like 4 or 5 bands, I think, and they all got 30 minutes, and we just went and
Oh,
jammed
wow.
for like a big crowd. It was awesome.
How many people showed up to that? Like to view?
100.
Dang, that's awesome. Yeah, you got to get Matilda doing
We should just get up.
doing secondary vocals.
I said she should do some Rage Against the Machine. Go up there and sing like "Bulls on Parade" or something.
Yeah.
I think she would kill that.
But no, what would be funny is like she should reverse the order. So like the first song she does is like the screamo song, and then the next song she does is like a super normal like plain white tees or
I
something.
said
Like
she should like play harp for a song,
that would be so cool. Also,
and then just go up and do screamo like right after.
yeah, because the open mic night is like 2 steps away from just karaoke night. Like there's a lot of just singing
Yeah.
going on. So it's like if she went in there and busted out a harp, that'd be just be awesome.
Yeah. I'm serious, Alex. You should make the 10-minute podcast happen. I think that'd be hilarious.
That would be awesome. What I'd want to do is it'd be like, I'm gonna find a random person in the
Yeah.
audience, point like you want to be on a 10-minute podcast? Come over here and I'll just like ask all my like loaded questions.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with it. I don't know what Jim would feel about that.
I don't know why he would have an issue. You can do whatever you want for 10 minutes, pretty much.
I
As
was
long
gonna
as
say-
it's not like racist.
Yeah,
Oh well,
I mean, more just
might
like
struggle
the
then.
idea of like me like being aware of it and trying like helping planning it like makes it seem like they
Yeah.
Well,
kind of
you
thing.
know, could I not just like bring my camera and record just that?
As long as the
I-
person you're
maybe.
filming is yeah.
Yeah.
Because we always have to
this
ask.
is a
the-
one-party consent state, dude.
we have to ask
And
the
filming
participants for photos and filming and stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
So.
Which also is awesome. I didn't know that you guys
Yeah.
were doing that, so
What-
I have some pictures.
Whenever they sign in, we always put yes or no to be
Mm-hmm.
filmed or taken your photo of, and 99% of them say yes.
Yeah, I said no on the bad stand up because I didn't know how much
Oh,
I
I
wanted.
still took photos.
Good.
I didn't care.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah. I mean, I have it all on video, so I mean, I knew it was gonna go somewhere anyway.
Yeah, I didn't post any of them.
No, that's super awesome. So I'd asked you on the questionnaire some of your proudest achievements, and you said you talk about it on the podcast. Is a lot of it kind of like related to the band or
The
are there other
band and
things?
doing sub and making Dean's List and all that.
What do you do for your major? Like, have you found that that's kind of related to where you want to go in life, or is that just like,
Yeah, it definitely is. I wish the College of Human Sciences wasn't so bad because I would love to be an event management major, but it's just terrible compared to the College of Business. So that's why I'm doing marketing and management because you can still work events.
like
it's yeah.
pretty similar?
Yeah. And like I'm working sub, so like I've been doing events for 3 years of college basically. I always tell people subs like you get real world experience without the threat of getting fired because like you're working with agencies, you're working with agents and like professional comedians and bands. So it's like you're getting to do all this stuff and like going behind the scenes of like getting permits for stuff or getting okay to do this and that. And it's like you get to do all this without like even getting into the workforce. So like I have all this background knowledge of like how stuff works already when I go out into the real world.
That's so cool, and it's like it's really easily accessible, ISU related, like things that you'd enjoy
it's
watching,
free.
and it's free. Yeah,
Free. The only events that cost money are Grandma Mojo's and M Shop shows.
and Gary Mojo's is literally $1.
$1. And the
So-
reason they have that is because we need to like pay to cover the box office worker and the bartender.
Oh, do they serve drinks at Gary Mojo's?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
cool. I want to go to a show, but I have meetings every single Wednesday at 7:30. Because I want to get one of them on the podcast. I don't know which one I'd want, but I've talked to him a few times.
Would we
and
get like Walker or
I would
Adam?
recommend Walker or Adam.
okay, because I
Or
We can get 'em
Jonah
both.
might be good too, but he's kind of quiet.
I've talked to them and then they kind of just like push it off to someone else and be like,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll email you. So kind of waiting for. We'll see what happens on that one.
Yeah, I think Walker or probably Walker or Adam.
Yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be cool. So I saw on your questionnaire thing that Whiplash is your favorite movie. Is
Yeah.
that because it's a drumming movie or?
It's just yes, and it's just like crazy how like manipulative like Fletcher was in that movie.
Uh-huh.
And like it's just crazy that he was able to like control someone like that to like break up with their girlfriend and like put him through hell and like do all this stuff just to become good in his eyes and become like a great drummer.
It's a really cool concept for a
Yeah.
movie. Like it's just simple. They get through it, then the
Yeah.
movie ends.
But even like towards the end of the movie, he's still like looking for his approval on the drum solo, and then he like nods his head, and then they hit the final note, and then the movie ends. It's like, damn.
I know that's the only reason why I loved the movie, but that's not the reason why I disliked it is because he was such a monster.
Yeah.
And then like at the end, he's like, "Okay, we're friends now." You know what I mean? It's like,
He got what he wanted.
yeah, like yeah, it was like, what kind of moral are we setting
None.
to where like
None.
it's kind of a bad
And that was
bad
the
take,
point of the movie because they took place in Juilliard. That the movie they call it like I don't Schaefer Academy I think, and it's actually just Juilliard in New York. And like there's been actual like professors and music teachers that have like pushed students to the point where they like attempt suicide or like just drop out completely because they like are expecting perfection out of these students.
Yeah, I can't believe that actually existed. And apparently, the director who wrote it, like,
Damien Chazelle.
yeah, was like
He had-
actually experienced band teacher.
Yeah.
They hated it.
It probably wasn't to that extreme. I doubt there's been one to the extreme that they showed in the movie, but I'm sure there's been cases that were like similar.
What was your band experience like in high school? Like, how did it kind of project you to be like, okay, I want to do this?
So I started 5th grade. Well, way back, kindergarten, did piano, hated it. Just did it so I could do drum set.
Yeah.
'Cause you had to have,
Yes,
you
'cause
had
you
to have 1 year of piano. But my mom's like, no, fuck you. You're going to do 3. I
Yeah.
was like, why?
Yeah. I was like,
hated
no,
it.
thank you. Yeah.
And then I kind of started drums in 3rd grade. So it's been a long time I've been playing drums. It's been
Did you start drums like on your own recreationally or?
yes, and then I got formal lessons from this guy named Serge Doherty. He was cool.
What an awesome name.
I know. He was
My boy Serge.
Yeah.
Was he jacked?
No, he just looked like a dad. He got a dad build. Took lessons from him for a few months, and then I went to this guy named Greg, and then I went to this other guy named Brian, and then in 8th grade, I went to this guy named Bryson Foster, and he was from 8th grade till I pretty much graduated and came to college, and he was the best. I loved Bryson. If he's watching this, shout out you, Bryson. I learned so much from him. He was a great, great drum teacher.
Well, so like, what possessed you to like get this into drums? Like, did you see?
I don't even know. Like, it sounds bad, but like it just came really easily to me, and I could just pick up stuff like that. Like it was not hard for me to like pick up new drumming concepts.
Well, it's just like drums are like obscure. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like everyone has their favorite singer,
Yeah.
and maybe some kids when they're younger have their favorite guitarist. You know what I mean? But there's not a lot of kids out there that are like, yeah, this is my favorite drummer. Like it just
Yeah.
doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's interesting to like hear that you even as far as to get private lessons, like
Yeah.
and talking to drummers
Yeah.
from that young. It's bizarre. It's an interesting story.
Yeah, I don't know. I just loved the idea of like it came just easily to me to be doing 4 different things with your limbs at the same time. Like I was just able to like it's called like mind muscle connection. Like I could play at one point. I can still do it, but like I could play 4 completely different time signatures at the same time. And like I don't know, it just to me, I think that is way more impressive than a guy playing guitar.
Yeah. Yeah, which is why I think it's so obscure. It's like people see that and they're like, I can get girls with the guitar and singing. It's easier. It's like more accessible and that I could just do it. That's why I'm saying it's like it's interesting that you chose drums from such like an early age. It's really cool.
It just came naturally to me, I guess. I'm sure you have stuff that came naturally to you that you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just how it was with drumming for me. I mean, I know a little bit of bass, not too great at it, but like even in school band, I hated doing like mallet instruments like xylophone,
Yeah.
bell kit, and all that shit. I hated it. But you know, like timpani and snare drum and bass drum, like all that just came super easy to me. And like I got best in state for my snare drum performance my senior year, and it was like rated like a level 10.
Let's say, and Dubuque's pretty big, and that area is like,
Well, Davenport.
or Davenport, sorry.
Yeah.
It's pretty big, like that whole area, isn't it? Yeah. So that's also like you really went in on it.
Yeah, like I made marching band freshman year on snare drum, and I stuck on snare drum all the way through senior year. And then I came to Iowa State, made it my freshman year, decided I didn't want to commit you know,
The 80-hour work week.
4 hours a day on that. And I was like, there's no way in hell I could commit that much time because then I wouldn't be able to do any of the stuff I'm doing now. But I would have loved to have stayed on it. But
Yeah, because
if I was like a music major, hell yeah, I would have stayed on. But like, I'm not gonna be doing marching band as my career.
yeah.
Plus drum set is like my main passion. Like I loved snare drum and I loved concert band, but like it's not what if I could choose, I would just do drum set. And
No.
like I did a jazz band too, and like each year we made it to state in jazz band. Like we won state my senior year in jazz band. I had my own drum feature. I had a 48-bar drum solo and a Latin piece. And it was just I love jazz band so much, and I wanted to do jazz band here. And on my audition, the drum teacher's like, "Yeah, you're great, but you're gonna be really bored in this jazz band because like all they did was slow swing stuff." And I wanted to do like funk and like up-tempo swing and Latin and like all the cool stuff, but they don't do any of that.
Are there not jazz bands in Ames, like just like adults?
I'm sure there is, but I don't want to play with like a bunch of 40-year-olds.
That is kind of true.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think like because of how much I love jazz drumming, is why I like Whiplash so much, because like that's what really got me like, oh, I want to be like good at this. So I'd spend several hours a week playing drum set and snare drum, like at least minimum 30 minutes a day I was doing, but sometimes it'd be up to like 2-3 hours of practice I would do a day. And then like with jazz band, I think that influenced a lot of my drumming for rock. Is like I'll incorporate like a lot of stylistic stuff from jazz into rock. And like I think like the way I do it like fits our style of music well. So I took a lot of influence off of like doing jazz band in middle school and high school.
And so, where, as far as like drumming goes in the band, where do you see yourself in like 10 years, as far as musicality wise?
I don't even know. Music will probably always be a part of my life. I don't know if I'll always be in a band though. So.
Do you think you're gonna have like a drum set at home and you're gonna try to?
For sure. For sure. I spent way too much money on that drum set to not use it.
Yeah, not have it for the next like 10 years. Yeah, for sure.
I can't just like buy all that expensive shit and not use it.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is, the last thing I'd want to like see is, you have this story of being so successful, like in your younger years and like even up to now, like you've kept it going and you have like this interest. I don't want to see that like die in you.
Well, hopefully if and when I have kids, I can pass it on to them and like then they can make their own life story. It doesn't even have to be with drums. I just like want them to do something musical because that's just good for like brain development anyways.
No, I'd love that. I love talking to people who do music because I make music with my buddy Adam. And we just make like video game music.
Yeah.
It's so adorable because like
even like it doesn't even have to be like traditional music. You can just like make any kind. You can make EDM. You can do classical. You can do blues. Even though I'm not a fan of that, like I think it is important for everyone to learn some kind of like instrument or like music playing or like music mixing.
What do you think it's done for you? Like, how has music?
It's definitely like helped me develop like social skills because like I used to not always be that outgoing. Like middle school I was like pretty awkward, and then like high school came around and like being on like cause like we started drumline rehearsal like 3 months before school even started, so I already had like a core group of friends before I even went to high school. And that's like a scary transition going from middle school to high school. So it's like, oh, it was easy making these friends, maybe I can make more. And then like I just kept meeting new people, and like music also built up my confidence skills because like you got to do a lot of sight reading, so you have to be able to read music quickly and then like play it back confidently, acting like you know it. So like that helped my memory skills, confidence skills. It like helped. I think it definitely helped develop my brain because I started playing music so young. Because like music, it like activates both sides of the brain. That's why they say it's good to like listen to jazz or classical music while you study, because you get like better memory retention, because you're like activating both sides of the brain at the same time. So I think like doing that has improved school, and then school improved my music. So it's just like this big relationship that like
You've kind of been writing on for
Yeah.
ever since you started doing it.
Yeah, and like even at home now, like the place I live at, I have a practice pad set up and I still practice. But
And so you'd probably encourage other people to just get involved
yeah, like
with music in general.
I don't think anyone's too old to start Like you can be 70 and you can pick up guitar. Like you can just go to YouTube, look up guitar tabs, and start learning how to do it.
Yeah, because I think the most satisfying thing about playing music is because I play guitar and then I do keyboard a little bit. And I think the most satisfying thing about doing is looking at something and being like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And then just like plugging away at it, and then you're like, oh, actually, I can.
Yeah,
So,
there was this one snare piece I got in it was my junior year of high school, and my band teacher at the time, Mrs. Long, she handed it to me, and she's like, "You're gonna learn this." I was like, I'm
gonna try.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sure gonna try. She's like, "No, you're gonna learn it," and like that was. Like, I hated it at some points. Like, I literally punched a hole through my snare head because, like, I just kept messing up on this one part and I couldn't get it. So I just, like, punched, like, right through the head. I was like, well, that was stupid because now I can't practice and I have to buy a new instrument.
Yes.
So, like, there's definitely been times where I, like, wanted to quit, but, like, glad I didn't.
Yeah, it's like it's the most obvious way to tell yourself that like you can learn things. You can still do something. It's like you know when you play something right.
And it is the fastest way to tell if someone is bullshitting about their abilities.
Really? What do you mean by that?
Like, if someone says, like, oh, yeah, I can do this, this, and this in music, and then, like, okay, show me. And then they go up and they're just, like, obviously can't. You're like, okay, so you haven't,
Yeah,
like,
so
you haven't done it.
yeah, you can just tell somebody's just ability by how much they could put into it.
Yeah.
But I think even beyond that, like for me, it's if I ever want like a boost in confidence, it's like, okay, I'm gonna look at something hard and I'm going to suck at it,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna hate that I suck at it,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to progressively learn how to do it,
Yeah.
and then now I'm good at it, and it's like this is the most objective way to tell me that I still can learn things,
Yeah.
that I still can overcome challenges, and that I'm
Yep.
still like
And
good
that's
at doing
why
things.
I have a whole book of, like, crazy, like, snare marching pieces that I'm still, like, learning to this day, just so I, like, keep my mind going with that. Because, like, school, yeah, it's great, but obviously it sounds bad. It's not my number one priority. Like, sub is, and, like, music and, like, athletics are, like, above school for me. Like, obviously I still care about it, but, like, I think the tangible information and, like, real world experience of, like, doing that stuff will get me further than memorizing notes for a test.
I mean, it puts you in a better mindset too.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's, like, just good problem solving skills. Because, like, I was a peer mentor this year, and some of these freshmen
for
just
what class?
just the College of Business.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I just help freshmen get, like, set up with, like, all their classes, help them write their grad plans, and, like, help them with academic help if they need it. And, like, some of these freshmen that came in just have absolutely, like, no problem solving skills, which, like, blows my mind because over half of them didn't know how to attach files to emails, which to me, I was like,
You grew up more
even
around
if you
technology than I
don't
did.
know, you can go to Google and find out in, like, 30 seconds. Which is, like, to me, I would not even think of just not doing an assignment because I didn't know how to, like,
Do an aspect of it when
yeah.
the amount of like Quizlets I've used to
Yeah.
take tests. Like if I was just like, oh, like,
Yeah.
like when I looked at it, like the amount
Yeah.
of things I've Googled to just like figure out
Yeah.
how to do things is I can't even count on my fingers.
I know, but it's just, like, music has helped develop my problem solving skills, and, like, sub has helped me develop, like, problem solving skills as well. Like, for the band yesterday, they literally didn't have a drum set till, like, 12 p.m. So I was scrambling trying to find them a drum set. I was like, I'll let you use mine for $150, or we can get this backline company that'll rent it to you for $250. And I gave them those options, and I was ready to, like, go get my drum set to do that. And it's just, I feel like life is just putting out fires all the time.
yeah.
And I feel like sitting and studying is not going to get you ready for those fires. So that's why I like doing things more than sitting back.
I think that's a really good lesson to gain from playing music. It's a lot deeper than I think most people view their own music, passion or progress.
Well, it's been literally the biggest part of my life since I was in third grade.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, it's awesome, man. It's awesome. So you said that you had mentioned that you kind of care about athletics. What athletics do you do? Is this like specifically with the sports, like setting up for sports events, or are you involved in other?
Yeah, specifically for like setting up and working events. I'm kind of a floater right now because I joined the team late. So normally like the interns get assigned a sport that they work. But because I joined late, I just kind of float and help around where I need to. Like this weekend, I'm working the Beauty and the Beast event, which is the gymnastics and wrestling like event.
Interesting. That's a funny name.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
It's a cool name for it. And I've literally never worked gymnastics before, and I'm like basically in charge of it this weekend. So
So I guess you hope you don't break any gymnastics legs by not setting the beams up right or something, I guess.
Well, it's not that. I gotta like do the behind the scenes stuff for this one.
Oh, okay. You're not like setting
No,
up
no.
the. Okay, I was like, dang, I wouldn't trust myself to do that stuff.
No, but I'll figure it out. But yeah, it's just really. I think it's like even more knowledge getting into because sports is such a huge like market that I think, and even my sister, she works for the Arizona Diamondbacks, the MLB team. So she's in sports and she loves it, and like I've seen what she does, and that's really cool too. So I'd love to do sports. I'd love to do music outside of this. So I'm just kind of
So Red Bull kind of sounds like
I'm just kind of expanding my resume at this point.
and like trying everything. What is and then the other one was Winterfest.
Yeah.
What is that? I've heard of that a lot.
It's a huge event that takes place in the Great Hall, and it's like we get a bunch of vendors in, and we have like a bunch of games. It's like not just for college students; it's open to the public too. So like this year, we were gonna have Jeanette McCurdy, but thank God she bailed because I hated her. She was such a
Jeanette McCurdy. What is that name?
iCarly. She was the blonde.
Oh, Sam. Yes.
Yeah, she was Sam and iCarly.
Yeah. Wait, why'd you hate her?
She was just such a pain to deal with. Like her agent, and like we had to like approve everything for graphics, and she wanted like security officers there to like protect her. I'm like, who the hell is gonna run this? Like run up on stage for Jeanette McCurdy?
Wait, how does working with agents work? Like, talk me through.
So for M Shop, it's kind of like we're not like a main stop on bands tours. We're called like they're routing through. So like they'll be driving by, and we're just kind of like a stop on the night. They can make a few $100 and play for a crowd.
Okay.
So they send us like bands that are like in the area that'll be performing. And like we can choose like if we have availability for it, if we like them, and if we think they'd get a good draw, and then we kind of like reach out to the ones that we want. So like we're not that like every now and then we'll reach out to a band, but 90% of the time they're like reaching out to us.
Oh, okay. So but as far as like working with like people in the Great Hall or like working with like the late nights and like Winterfest and stuff like that, like
I think
how does working with the agents go?
I think that's kind of the same deal. I don't really know about like the big ones because I've never done it, but I think it's kind of the same deal where they have like a list of ones that are available at that time, and then they'll like I guess send out an offer to them.
That's cool. Wait, because with Winterfest, tell me more about Winterfest. Like you said, it's vendors. You'll have a performance in the Great Hall. It's like open to everybody.
Yeah,
like,
they also have bingo. So and then there's also like, God, there's so much this year. We had Santa Claus come in and he had like a 360 camera. It was so cool.
What?
Yeah, there was a 360 camera and there was Santa Claus there. So like college kids were taking photos with Santa Claus. There was a photo on Almost Friday of a bunch of girls with Santa Claus and they were doing horns down.
Santa getting down, man.
Yeah, I know. It was really cool. And actually got that vendor in there, Rip Roar Events, because I interned with them over the summer. They're the race company that I interned with. So,
so you really are like spreading the wings and flying on this like event management side of things.
Yeah,
just, like
yeah.
Putting your toes in every single cup of water here.
And what's cool about Maintenance Shop too is I get to run a social media page. Like I get to run a Facebook and Instagram. Basically, me and my co-director Josie, we like design all the posts, we caption all of them, we look at analytics of like when's the best time to post and like when to boost and like when to do stories versus normal posts. So I'm like learning a ton about digital marketing with it too.
No, dude, that's super awesome. It's like I talked to Alex about Sub like on the podcast, but then you're like the bigger brother. You're like got anything to say?
Hey, give Alex some credit. He's new.
He
He's
talked to me
learning.
like before we had the executive.
Yeah, I know.
So
He's learning. He
Alex is gonna be the next Sam. That's
no,
God, I
no,
hope not.
no. I want them to be their own thing. I don't want it to be me. I'm me and he's him. We don't need two of me.
Yeah.
yeah.
They don't want two of me.
Who's they?
Everyone on the board.
Everyone on the board. I'm kind of like,
You're the black sheep. We just
yeah, I'm
immediately
definitely the black
dogpile on
sheep.
you.
Yeah, I'm definitely the black sheep.
That's kind of funny. How did you get a reputation like that?
Just kind of, I don't know. It's just my personality. I'm just very laid back, and like everyone else stresses out all the time. So like while everyone else is freaking out, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's just hanging out. I take things serious, but not like too serious. Is that a good way of putting it, Alex?
I think so.
How would you describe me from a third party perspective?
Oh, geez. You weren't afraid to, like, especially at open mic night, like to just dog on people. And
Yes.
and I don't know. I think part of that in that you got so many people in, and everybody always shows up, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I met Sam," and then the entire board goes,
I know exactly what kind of relationship that you're talking about here.
It's not like a dread that they met me. It's just like,
It's just like, oh
It's
my
just
God,
funny to,
another
like-
person that got here through Sam.
Yeah, it's just like funny to like. You're good at handling it. Is what that really says.
Yeah.
Is like.
basically like last semester, I brought in 16 new members, and the next closest person behind me
Including
had,
myself.
yeah, the next person closest behind me had 4.
Oh wow! So you are like carrying the sub recruitment on your back.
Literally squaring it.
yeah, I was carrying it pretty hardcore. But we have a great board this semester. Like like it's been good. Like we've had a lot. Like it's not just me bringing in people anymore. Like everyone's bringing in new people. Even Alex has.
I have.
Yeah, even Alex.
Yeah.
Even
we're
someone
kicking
like
ass.
Alex is able
We
to
are
bring.
kicking
Yeah,
ass
they're
this year.
killing it in performing arts. I'd like to think it's because of me and Hannah rebuilding the program after COVID.
Right after Madam President's run, are you throwing some shade at Kenna?
Yes. And Brooklyn.
Well, she's gone, so yeah.
Yeah, I don't even care. So
Okay, so we're running over a little bit over an hour, and I have to pee violently. So
On
I
camera.
think, yeah, right now.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
Hold on. All right, no, we can keep going now.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so if there's any last minute plugging you want to do, events, recruitments, talk about any of the stuff that you've talked about, this is your time to do it.
if anyone has like any interest in learning more about sub, just email mshop@iastate, just mshop@iastate.edu. It'll be sent to me, Josie, and our director, Jim. If you just want to learn more about me, don't.
Run away.
Yeah, but thank
Got
you
any
so much.
shows coming up?
Yeah, I'll say, talk about your band.
We have a
Spotify
show.
shows.
Yeah, we have a show on March 11th at the A-Hole. You can follow that on Instagram at, I think it's just A-Hole Ames, just A-H-O-L-E Ames.
Not on Google. Make sure
Yeah,
you're on
do
Instagram.
it on Instagram, please.
M Shop shows.
Yeah, M-Shop shows. We have one February 25th. It's a Saturday. Bouquet is playing. They're a rock band out of Iowa. Pretty good. They're on the come up. Like 80,000 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Dang. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
so-
gotta get Writing Atlas. To
Yeah,
perform
Riding
before them.
Atlas. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, Amazon, YouTube.
Yeah,
Riding Atlas, like riding a bike, not like writing a
as
book.
in writing a book. Yeah. Well, it was awesome having you on.
Yeah,
Sam.
thank you so much for having me.